this is immediately damaging. What it does is confirm for consumers that pricing is Machiavellian, secretive, that the culture behind the facade is rotten, and when one CEO, for example, for Coles comes out and says they're going to defend the actions in the face of evidence that's been presented by the ACCC, all that does is say that they're going to deny and defend the practices that consumers resent.
If at least one CEO has responded in the wrong way, how would you have advised them to handle this issue this week? What should they have done?
Well, the lessons from the Exxon Valdez have clearly not been learnt. When the Exxon Valdez ran aground or hit a reef and spilled 11 million gallons of oil into the Prince William Sound in Alaska, the company did two things wrong. Number one, they failed to send their chairman into the site to take control and charge of the situation. And number two, their public statements were a complete contradiction of what was really happening on the ground. And I see parallels with what's happening here with the supermarkets. What needs to happen instead is for a CEO to stand up and say, you know what, this is not the right way of doing business. We're going to do it differently. I'm going to draw a line in the sand. We're going to move forward. We're going to change our practices. And what that particular company will have is the entire community and media behind them, ensuring that they win market share and keep it for a very long time. But they need to be the first ones to do it.
You mentioned their market share. How would you categorise the financial risk to the supermarkets as a result of this week's allegations, given their large market share and the fact that consumers don't often have a lot of choice about where to buy groceries?
Yes, so one classic response that will have been discussed, no doubt, at a board level is that we'll deny and defend, and eventually it'll all pass. And we'll pay the fine or we'll settle with the ACCC, as Quantis did relatively recently, and we can continue on our merry way. But that will be a missed opportunity for the supermarkets. The supermarkets have the opportunity now to actually stand out for the crowd, or one of them does, by being the first to actually bring the community behind them and the media as well.
The share price for both companies fell on Monday and Tuesday of this week. Have investors now priced in the possibility of financial penalties?
I think that's a reasonable assumption, although we don't know precisely what those penalties are going to be. And in any case, often they're settled before they go to court. I note that Woolies has said it will consider the findings, it will consider its response, and that's an appropriate first response. It now has the platform to be the supermarket that actually changes the way business is conducted. And remember, we've got an interesting situation here. We've for a very long time wanted more women in charge of public companies and on boards of public companies. So we would hope that we're going to see a different response from the responses that we've seen in the past.
Roger, just one more question. You touched on Quantis. Has Vanessa Hudson turned the page on the reputational damage done to the Quantis brand under the leadership of Alan Joyce?
Well, I think as much as can be done has been done, but unfortunately, in that particular circumstance, there's a very, very big plane upgrade event coming. It's a huge capital expenditure imposed on the company, and whether we like it or not, it's going to change the economic performance of that business for a very long time.
Roger Montgomery, good to speak to you.
Always a pleasure.